Hmm. Morning.
Hi, good morning.
I can hear you. You are Melissa Hamilton.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I can hear you.
No, I'm Lorenzo Velasco with Vel LLC, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Velasco, I can hear you. Mr.
Right.
Sanchez, I cannot, if you can unmute Mr. Sanchez. Thank
Okay, Judge, I'm here. Thank you.
you. Okay. The witnesses, raise your right hand, please.
I have some other witnesses. They're raising their right hand too.
Okay, can they get in the screen or?
Yeah, you guys want to come back here?
Okay, you swear the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, self.
Yes.
Anybody else? Ms.
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Everyone's there, okay. Okay, are we ready to proceed?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Velasco, if you want to tell me what this is about?
Yes, sir, Judge. This is an eviction that we're doing on Melissa Hamilton. The principal reason we're evicting her is that she has violated the contract under Section 14, prohibitive conduct. Let me just read a couple of the sections of that. It says,
I'm going to put it on the screen as well.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I'm going to put it on the screen.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Okay, well, I guess I don't really need to read it.
No, go ahead. Go ahead,
Okay,
just so everybody can follow it.
That's fine. Okay. You or your occupants or guests may not engage in the following activities: loud or obnoxious conduct, disturbing or threatening the rights, comfort, health, safety, or convenience of others in or near the apartment community, possessing, selling, or manufacturing illegal drugs or drug paraphernalia, engaging in or threatening violence, possessing a weapon, soliciting business or contributions, operating a business or child care service, storing anything in closets having gas appliances, tampering with utilities, bringing hazardous materials into the apartment, or using candles or kerosene lamps. On this part, Judge, it's the first section where it's the loud, obnoxious conduct, disturbing and threatening the rights of others and their comfort and their health. And I have my property manager here that can give you more detail, as well as one of the tenants that lives on the bottom underneath the apartment 10. Which number are you? Number 9. She lives in 10. So there's a total of 5 tenants that have complained to our manager, all the ones that live around apartment 10 of Mrs. Hamilton. But not everybody could come. They're at work. So if you don't mind, I'd like to have Mrs. Margarita Alonso give you some information of the complaints that she's received from the other tenants. And then lastly, we'll have, if you don't mind, the people from apartment number 9 that live below Mrs. Hamilton.
First, Mr. Velasco, Mr. Sanchez, do you have any questions of Mr. Velasco?
Well, Judge, I found an answer to the eviction, and as one of the things I filed also was a motion to dismiss the lawsuit, because Mr. Velasco in his petition for eviction, he failed to mention any specific facts as to what the what the grounds for the eviction were, other than just you violated Section 14. There's 12 different activities under paragraph 14 of the lease, and we didn't know which one. Which one was it? We have no way of knowing, because he never specified in the petition what specific facts he was alleging against Ms. Hamilton as grounds for the eviction. Under 510.3, as you well know, Your Honor, you're supposed to allege specific facts for the on their petition. You can't just say, well, you violated the lease. That doesn't tell us a whole lot, and we had no way of knowing what. We were only guessing as to what possibly it could have been that he was alleging, but it didn't really state any facts.
Were there notices given?
Yes, there was a notice. I'm sorry, are you talking to me, Judge?
Yes, either one, but Mr. Velasco, you're muted, so I can't hear anything you're saying right now.
Yes, Judge. There was a notice. There was a notice to vacate, and the notice to vacate says the same thing. You violated paragraph 14, and that's it. It didn't give specific facts as to what activities Mrs. Hamilton was supposed to have done to have violated paragraph 14. Like I said, there's 12 different activities that are considered violative. And we'd ask for dismissal of the case based on that.
Judge, we provided written notices to her regarding her conduct.
What do the notices say?
Your Honor, if I may, I never received any notice.
Miss Hamilton, hold on, Miss Hamilton. Wait till it's our turn.
Mr. Velasco?
Yeah, yeah, we're getting
Were they attached to your petition?
well, hold on. Fíjate, los pusiste cuando hiciste file a petition. Tú se los dices, ¿verdad, Margarita?
There's an eviction notice.
Yeah, well, Judge, no, we didn't put it, but my daughter wrote it, gave it to the manager gave it to the tenant. And
Okay,
it specifies there her activity and why she's being given that notice.
here's it, the notice to vacate. This is the one that was, this is the one you're talking about or no?
That's just the notice to vacate. We have the written notice that we gave her on her conduct, which was a, I guess it's a written warning, and we're getting it now. So if you just bear with me. Si lo tienes, mira. Okay.
Mr. Sanchez, the answer the answer looks, is this the answer you're referring to? Let me put it on the screen, 1 second.
Yes. No, that is not the answer.
Okay, I don't have another answer. Is there another one?
I filed one this morning, Your Honor.
Okay,
Judge, we were given notice. I did not read that one, so I don't think that's fair. I did not.
I sent it to Mr. Velasco kind of late. It was probably around 9:30, I believe. I emailed it to him, to his email address on the petition.
who did you send it to here?
I was e-filed, Your Honor.
You filed, okay.
Yes.
Wendy, do we have that?
Let me check, okay, Judge?
Let me give me a second. I'm gonna si la agarraste.
Okay, Judge, it should be on the case. He barely filed it today at 8:53.
Okay. Wendy, you said it's in the case now? It's in the Odyssey?
Yes, Judge, it just takes a little bit to transfer from.
Okay, I'll reload it, see if it.
In e-file, the status is still showing its processing, Judge, so it's gonna take like a couple of minutes.
Okay,
Judge?
yes,
Yeah, okay. We're trying to get it's a complaint notice. That's how we wrote it, and it gives the details. Also, Margarita Mrs. Alonso is the manager. She read it. She gave it to her. I'd like to at least her testimony that was provided to her, and it gave Mrs. Hamilton the details of what her problem was, what she needed to work
Can you
on.
scan it? Can you email it in?
Yeah, we'll do that right now. We're
Okay.
getting
Do you
it.
have-
Yeah, we're getting it remotely because it's over at another computer at the motel.
Do they have the email?
Do your all's email?
Yes.
Yeah,
Jay-
we have your all email when we send in the things. If you want to give me let me write it down and I'll make
Okay.
what email do we send it to?
JP, just the letters J and the letter P, one, El Paso County,
Hold on. I'm kind of slow.
email.com. There's some other,
Okay, JP1 El Paso County.
El Paso County is written out
Yes, sir.
at gmail.com.
Okay.
We're having two more people join us.
Okay. In the meanwhile, Judge Wood, can Mrs. Alonso give testimonies to the fact that she did deliver it and basically what the complaint notice was?
Well, I'd like to see it. I mean,
Okay.
that's the written notice. I would,
Let me get with my daughter.
Mr. Alvarez, you're a witness in this case?
I'm the manager from the apartments.
Who's talking?
I'm the manager of the apartments,
Okay, in your name?
Margarita Alonso.
Alonso, okay. But Luis Alvarez at the bottom of the screen. Can you unmute?
Okay,
Unmute. Okay, there. What is your role in this?
I'm the case manager for Melissa Hamilton.
Yes, I'm the manager from the apartments.
I'm not talking to
I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm talking to Luis Alvarez.
Yes. Luis Alvarez is the case manager for Melissa Hamilton.
Okay. Then I have another screen that's marked Ulysses. Can you unmute?
That's Ulysses is our paralegal, Your Honor. He's just observing.
Okay. Okay.
Judge, the answer is already uploaded to the case.
Okay. Thank you.
¿Dónde está el sobre? No está el bolso.
Mr. Sanchez, is there other notices that your client has received relative to this, or do you know, or?
I can ask, Your Honor, I can ask her, see if
Okay.
there was other notices with your permission. I'll
Sure.
go ahead and ask her. Ms.
Mhm.
Hamilton, have you received other notices from the apartments about other conduct alleging that any other kinds of notices besides the one that you got telling you that you had violated paragraph 14?
The only other notice I received was just not to use my back door because it would cause problems with tenants below. And I have that one right here.
What's the
Yes.
date of that?
This is a month after I moved in. It was May 19th, 2021, which I complied. But that was the only written notice I've ever received.
Let's see what is provided, then we'll go over that.
I couldn't bring it up from the computer over at the motel. I tried to do a Chrome remote. But she was given verbal warnings as well by the manager. And the issue with the one that Mrs. Hamilton just presented was there was an issue with the tenants that I have here in apartment 9, where there was a confrontation, and the tenant, Melissa Hamilton, and I guess the tenant can tell you what was said, what occurred in that transaction between them.
Are you talking about her May 19th? She just said her May 19th letter? Her May 19th notice?
Right, correct.
Oh, that's not why
Yeah,
you're,
that one we have it. Yeah, that one we have it here at our home, but you all have that one. But the other one notice that we had given her is at the motel computer, and I tried to Chrome remote bring it over, but I did not.
well, call whatever witness you want to call and
Okay, Judge.
Judge, I would object to any other witnesses because there's no specific facts in the petition alleging any kind of, other than just she violated paragraph 14. There's no,
okay.
there's nothing.
I just want to I want to find out if she was aware of why they were evicting her or not. I mean, and
Okay.
so let's see what was told or what was given to her.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay, and I'm sorry, Miss, your name?
Margarita Alonso.
The last name?
Alonso.
Alonso, okay.
Yes.
Alonso, what would you like to state?
Well, we just, one of the notes that I gave her was using about the back door. That was one of the notes.
May 19th?
Yes, that was
You're-
about,
You're not evicting her for that, are you?
no, not that one. That one, it was just
Let's
like a
not-
warning.
Then
About
let's
not
not-
using the back door. Mhm.
Let's not go over things that we're not evicting her for.
Okay.
I'm not interested in those.
Okay, and then the other one I just passed to her was that about the complaining of all the people from the apartments. That's
Okay,
the one that I
when
passed
was
to
it?
her. Huh?
When?
It was this month, at the beginning of this month.
Okay. You gave her,
The letter that she needs to move out by the 8th
8th of what?
of what's today, September? I mean, August. And then she came to me asking me, what was about, and I explained to her that it was a couple rules that she was not following. And that was the only thing that we talk about, like that, it was the people were complaining about her noise and stuff like that. And the using the back door and that was the note was about.
Anything else?
No, that's it. I mean, I would just all the people from the apartment that would just come to me and complain about the noise and the behaving of her. And then one of the main people from there was apartment 9, that it was getting more was complaining more about her behaving. And that's the ones, they every time there was something going on, they will call me, and then I was just passing the information to to administrators so that way they can put everything on file for her that, you know, she was not doing her behaving of her following the stuff from her contract.
What specifically?
Well, like talking to them, making noise, throwing stuff on the in the apartment. Part of the ceiling fans were like shaking because they were like throwing stuff to each other, screaming. You know, it was a smoking, smelling of the trash, the cockroaches. I mean, it was just not following like the cleaning stuff, and then it was just smelling like a marijuana. And then the way that she was talking to the people downstairs, like going and knock on the doors and just talk to them like, you know, not in an appropriate way, disrespectful. And then throwing stuff, you know, from the window to outside and getting upset at her husband and throwing stuff at the husband, and, you know, things that the people from downstairs were like hearing more, and they were not happy about her behavior, you know.
What did the written notice say?
You what?
What did the written notice say?
It was just the paper that I gave her. It was just saying that she needed to move out by the 8th, that if she was not following one of the lease from, I guess, lease the 14 line of the contract. That's what we are talking to her.
You get, you know, verbal warning,
Mhm.
on more than one occasion, at least 3, and I do have a witness that.
I can't hear you. We can't hear you, and it's Mrs.
Sorry, Judge.
Alonso. Just a minute.
I did give her-
Just stop. Miss Alonso was testifying. You can't just switch mid.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Mr. Sanchez, do you have any questions of Miss Alonso?
Yes. You said you had all of these people complaining, but yet the notice that you gave to her on August the 8th, telling her to leave by the 14th, I believe, by the 4th, the notice of August the 4th, telling her to leave by August the 8th. You don't mention any of those things in that notice, do you?
No, because it was when she came to me, approached me to my apartment, I explained to her everything, you know, why people were complaining and why we gave them the note. I
So
explained
you
to her verbally.
Right. But when you're evicting somebody, don't you make a specific, or don't you usually make a specific allegation to let them know, look, we're evicting you for this reason? At the time, you were just telling her about complaints, but so you say,
Mhm.
but you didn't tell her we're going to evict you because of this. And you noticed that you had an opportunity to tell her in that
Mhm.
August 4th notice, you didn't give her that up. You didn't tell her that that's why you were asking her to vacate, correct?
Yes, I
It doesn't-
did verbally.
Well, but not on the notice. How do
No.
we know that what you told her verbally is the grounds that you're asking her to evict her now you're asking her to leave by the 8th? How do we know that if it's not in the notice?
But because it says on the paper that it was part of the contract, on the line of the contract.
Right, but there's 12 things on paragraph 14 that you outline in the notice where you said you violated paragraph 14 of the lease. There's 12 things in there that she could have violated, but you didn't tell her specifically
When she
in the
came,
notice, ma'am. You didn't tell her in the notice
Mhm.
which of those 12 things specifically she violated, correct?
Yes, but when she came to me, I explained to her, you know, what was about. I explained to her what was that she was breaking the rules from the apartment. You know, I did tell her when she came to me and asked me about the note. I did.
But you
And
never
it was
actually,
not on the note. Mhm.
you never actually saw her violate any of those rules, correct?
Yes, the back going on the back door. Yes, the way that was talking to the husband and fighting. Yes, I did hear her. Plus, you know, people were from that side of the building were calling me and telling me, you know, what was going on. And like I told you, apartment 9 was the one that was more hearing everything was going on. There's videos and there's audio, and then they have a camera on the back door that they took some of the videos of the way she was acting up.
But you don't have any of that here today as evidence, correct?
Yes, I mean, I'm pretty sure, I don't know, they send it, yeah, they send them to her, to, I guess, to the judge or to whoever's taking the case.
But again, in your petition, none of that information was put in the petition to give her fair notice. Look, we're going to evict you for this reason, for this reason, for this reason, for this reason. There's nothing in there. It just says we're evicting you because you broke paragraph 14. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. But when
Okay.
when she came to me, I explained to her what was about.
Okay,
When she came to me after I gave the note a minute later, I explained to her what was the note about.
Mr. Velasco, whoever you want to present next.
I also would like to add a couple of additional items. We weren't given notice with time. The attorney there that's representing Mrs. Hamilton says he sent something at 9:30. I haven't received anything, and I
Well, they don't, there's no duty upon the defendant to file an answer. I mean, there's I can get you, we can show you.
But that's fine. That's fine, Judge. But Mrs. Hamilton was given several verbal warnings that she was breaking the contract, where she was making excessively loud noise, bothering all the other tenants. When we gave her that written notice, that's because it was a serious violation. She had gone to a back door that is used as an emergency, and she's using it as a, I guess, an egress, and it's only used for emergency purposes, and it goes through part of the people in apartment 9. The complaints that we have had and received from the other tenants were regarding her conduct, and again, as Mrs. Alonso stipulated, when she gave her the notice, told her verbally what the issue was and why we were asking for the eviction. And so now I'd just like to turn it over to the people.
Okay, just a minute. So Mr. Velasco, you're testifying. So Mr. Sanchez, do you have any questions of Mr. Velasco?
Yes, Mr. Velasco, I was going to ask you, the notice that you sent her on May the 19th about using the back door, it starts with the sentence saying, just a reminder about your back door. It's just a reminder. That's all it is.
Mhm.
It's not telling her we're going to evict you because you're violating the contract, right? It doesn't say that.
You've already repeated that several times. I understand.
Okay, so, but it's just a reminder. It
That's right.
doesn't say you're in violation of the, you're in violation of the lease.
That's right.
Okay.
But
And
like I said, when she was given the eviction notice, she was told then and there verbally why we were giving it to her. And prior to that, for several weeks, the manager had been letting her know that she was in violation with the
Okay.
excessive noise her husband was making.
You have to give notice of why you're a victim in writing, not verbally. That's what we're trying to flesh out here.
Okay.
Any other witness?
Well.
Good morning,
Your name,
Judge.
sir? Your name?
Daniel Salazar.
Danielle, okay, Mr. Salazar, what would you like to say?
So I live below Mrs. Hamilton, and I've witnessed firsthand all the noise, all the yelling, all the screaming, the throwing of stuff. And I was actually a victim, so to speak, of verbal abuse on her behalf. I believe it was like a month ago. Now we do have videos from our security cameras of her misconduct, of the noises. We also have audio of the time she verbally abused me in my apartment.
Anything else?
That'd be it. On that last occasion where she went to my apartment to yell and curse at me, the police were involved. Unfortunately, they told me that since nothing really happened other than the verbal abuse, that they couldn't make a report on it. They said that they would just speak with her. I don't know if they actually did.
Okay, Mr. Sanchez, do you have any questions of Mr. Salazar?
Mr. Salazar, have you ever gone to Ms. Hamilton's apartment to let her know, hey, you know, you're making a lot of noise, anything like that? To tell her to
When we first moved in, we were told by management that to avoid any conflict between the tenants, that we could make the complaint with them and that they would speak with the tenant. And in all honesty, even if I wasn't instructed that that was the way to go, I wouldn't have done it just based on the conduct that Ms. Hamilton had shown beforehand. I honestly wouldn't feel comfortable doing so.
And when you saying she went to your apartment this month in August or in
I don't
July?
remember the exact date, but it was a month ago, more or less.
And what was that about? About noise, or why did she come down to your apartment? What did she tell you?
So we had already complained several times to management about the noise. They had already given her warnings, or at least that's what I had been told. On this occasion, my wife had a very, very bad migraine, and she was trying to just get some sleep throughout the day. And they were making a lot of noise, a lot of noise. It got to the point where they were banging on the floor, and it lasted almost half an hour. So I lost my cool and I banged on the ceiling a couple of times, and that was enough for her to run out of her apartment and go and yell at me and curse at me and just call me all sorts of things.
And did she tell you, in fact, did she tell you why there was noise coming from her apartment?
Yes, she said that it was her son and that she had no control over her son, and that her son was where he lived and that he could do basically whatever he wanted.
Okay. Okay, no other questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Salazar.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Velasco, final arguments, Mr. Velasco, if you want to state your.
Oh boy, okay. I'm not an expert here, Judge, but the situation at the building is difficult. The tenants all there complain about Mrs. Hamilton for excessive noise. And I just don't want, it's a situation that can present itself. I don't know if things can get out of hand to the point that police are going to have to be called in or what, but I can't have a tenant like that in the building bothering all the other tenants. I mean, you know, she pays her rent. We don't have an issue with that. I hate losing tenants, and I got to go in and clean the apartment, but I just don't want to lose the rest of the tenants that are there, Judge. And they're good tenants. They're quiet. Everybody pays their rent. They're all clean. So I guess that's my argument.
Sanchez?
I'm sorry.
No, Mr. Sanchez?
I would like to again, Judge, reiterate to the court that the petition fails to state any of these kinds of facts. It just makes a blanket assertion that Ms. Hamilton violated section 13 and 14. The notice to vacate that she got does not mention any specific facts with regards to why, why she's being asked to leave, other than you, again, a blanket assertion you violated section 14. Leaves the tenant to guess, what in the world could I have done? I don't know what of all these things are they alleging here. And so I think the petition is defective and it should be dismissed because there was no specification of any facts alluding to how she might have violated this. And like you said, Your Honor, they might have told her verbally, but you need to tell her in writing. And when they had the opportunity to tell her in writing, they just told her you violated section 14 and, you know, you got to leave by this date. I would also like to put on testimony from my client about that incident that occurred with the witness that just spoke right now, Mr. Salazar. If you wouldn't mind, Your Honor.
Well, I think we're at a procedural objection that you're raising as far as it didn't give specific notice of the facts.
Yeah, and if you want to rule on that, that would,
Ms. Velasco, you have to give written notice that if it's a violation, what are the facts that it amount to a violation and what specific provision it's violating.
Okay, Judge.
Although you did put,
We'll make sure next time we do that.
you put in the what she violated, but not the facts that arose that amounted to a violation of it.
Yeah, well, like I said, Judge, I mean, I'm not an attorney, I'm not an expert, but
On that
from now
grounds,
on, from now on, we'll make sure to include that
Okay.
information in the complaint.
okay, I'm going to deny the eviction.
Okay,
I will send a copy out to everybody. Thank you all.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Bueno, entonces.
Bye-bye.
Okay.